Hey guys, and welcome back to this tiny corner of the internet. If you know me, you're probably aware of the multitude of groups I stan and alt. Thus, I thought it would be a good idea to go through the best things about my favorite groups, and thus a pretty good reason on why you should be standing them essentially. Shall we some champ go love dive right in? Sorry, you're watching It's Tale Time.
비밀로 할게 show me 숨겨진 이야기 baby 다 보여줘 now like it hot, like it hot.
Apart from having probably the most non-skippable discography, GWSN also proved that a group can have a whole set of songs revolving around the same sort of features and elements. Apart from the fact that we're still waiting on the yearly comeback from them, they also proved to show how they can attempt something new without derailing completely from their original plot, and that's what I genuinely like about them. Always reaching with the addition of overarching musical sounds, with each comeback and each song in particular, their music seems as though it's evolving through the timeline, and I love to see that graduation. Of course, their concept of space with their titles like Puzzle Moon, Pinky Star, and Red Sun is absolutely beautiful and keeps me wondering what their next move will be, while continuing this very evident lore. Moreover, you should stan GWSN because there are 7 very vocally talented girls who happen to be very powerful performers, and their covers on their YouTube channel are honestly one of the reasons for my existence. Another Sonyeon group, they're generally known for their prominent cosmic sound and sparkly, synthy and bright songs. I was first drawn to them because of their cinematically directed music videos with evoking filmography and recurring lore with each. Obviously, back when I got into them being a large group was a huge drawback when it came to standing them, but now that I definitely prefer standing larger groups better because of the member chemistry, I see why I fell in love with them at first sight. If I had to concisely summarize why I stan them, the vocals in every single song of theirs are definitely a vital asset. Personally, if a group has overly talented vocalists whose voices I can directly link back to them, that increases my chances of standing them and even making them my alts. Yes, I'm talking about Yeonjung and Dawon. Standing WJSN means getting astounding vocals and semi-powerful dances that perfectly mesh in with their concept, and although I have no clue why EXE has a rap verse in all of their songs, even the ballads, they're still very doable. Stan WJSN and stream Pantomime.
I'm going numb. They don't care no more. I'm going numb. They don't care no more.
If I said to you that I first got into CIX for any other reason than their discography, I'd be lying. What I like about CIX's discography is that it circles around the same elements and features while also staying true to what their sound represents. I think one of the major attractive forces drawing me into standing them would have to be their group lore. If you didn't know, CIX's lore is based off of Dante's La Divina Commedia, which is an Italian text talking about the 3 parts of the afterlife: the Inferno, aka Hell, the Purgatorio, aka where the 7 deadly sins lie, and Paradiso, aka Heaven. Having this as the basic framework of their group lore and having made it so very interesting to link comebacks to each other by embedding Italian quotes from the original text in different aspects of their content, this was immediately an intrigue factor for me. I also feel as though they're the one group with an ongoing lore that they're excelling at maintaining. Do you ever see something in an MV and go, oh my god, this could mean this, it links back to the lore? I'm not a heavy theorist, but with CIX's MVs, they make it so clear what they're trying to reference, and I really love that.
I got the power. 너를 보면 눈이 부셔. I'm the villain. I'm the villain.
I actually didn't alt them until the Villain album was released early this year. Drippin has the power of having very equally rejuvenating title tracks, and that plays a significant role in framing their discography. A group that makes you go, oh, this B-side is good, but this title track really sums up the whole album, is definitely a very powerful group, and I hope people realize that. That being said, Drippin' aren't heavily a title track group either and have a very solid discography in terms of B-sides. This could be the influence of Full Bloom having worked on quite a few of their songs too, and yes, I'm biased. They also have a very distinct rap and vocal line, which explains how the rap and vocal bits in their more upbeat, almost funk pop tracks like Switch, Young Blood, and Reach Out Your Hands blend into each other more smoothly. Plainly, they're very good at what they do, and I think having something to associate them with makes them very likable and just very memorable to stan.
Can't complain 다 그런 거라 해 이상해 왜 긴가민가요 Can't explain.
Have you heard about Billy? Sorry. Okay, but seriously, if you haven't heard about them, I suggest you go do your research. Maybe now. Because Billy has portrayed a large variety of genres, concepts, and styles of music in 2 mini-albums and a single than most girl groups with bigger discographies have. Ranging from synthy electropop with Ring X Ring, bogus deep house with Flipping a Coin, to a softer balladic winter song with Snowy Night, leading on to a more four-on-the-floor pop-funk attempt with Kinga Minga Yo, with mellowed atmospheric songs like Sign Anonymous. I've dug around and found that not a lot of people were major fans of their debut but really liked Kinga Minga Yo, and vice versa, where some people liked Ring X Ring yet didn't gel with Kinga Minga Yo's rhyme-like shouty nature. And it made me realize that this might be how Billy is establishing a strong foundation for their soundscape by providing a vast variety of sounds to show versatility or provide something that appeals to every single one of their listeners. In a way, it's a perfect tactic because it makes me keep wondering what they'd do next. Billy's stage presence is also something to talk about. With Chuki's out of the ordinary stage presence in Kinga Minga Yo going viral literally everywhere, along with members like Haram and Moonswa, this group has a promising future in this new girl group era.
Coming to ice age, coming to ice age, coming to ice age. 우리 아차가 making new ice age.
They're literally the youth representative of K-pop. I'm not saying this because I've been to their concert and seen it firsthand, but the amount of exuberance and energy they seem to bring to the table in terms of 4th gen boy groups is immense. Their songs involve a lot of playing around with EDM, and I enjoy the various different subgenres of EDM they embed in their tracks. As a very performance or rap-based group, they've brought the quote-unquote noisy genre to their name with their very catchy yet hard-hitting tracks, including title tracks and B-sides like Player, Galaxy, and Honey Butter Chip. Although top media isn't particularly good at managing their groups, I can see a promising future for MCND in the direction they're heading with.
아무 말도 없이 나타나 내 마음을 모두 가져가 사랑 내게는 mirror.
Ever looked for a boy group that you know would milk the hell out of the cute or bright concept songs without overusing the genre? DKZ can do that for you. I've stanned them ever since they released Nom, their debut track, and since then, up until now, my only wish for them was that they at least release a mini album, much rather a full one. Because all they've been releasing up until now have been single EPs. Lupin was their moment of fame, and it makes sense. It's the perfect example of a concept switch up without losing any of their identity as a boy group. I was also initially scared for them ever since they announced One Day's departure and 3 new members. I wasn't sure whether they could maintain the frequency of the type of sound that they've been doing ever since they were called Dong Kids. But I absolutely loved Cupid, and it's definitely a top 3 2022 comeback for me. Seeing how they didn't lose any momentum proves to show how powerful they are as a group and how much impact they could have maybe if they were under a bigger company.
온몸에 널 씌워둬 씌워둬 씌워 널 온몸에 짙게 되어 넌 배어 넌.
Do I need to say much? VIXX are the blueprint of literally everything that has happened in K-pop so far. Traditional concept? VIXX did it first. Space vampires? VIXX did that first too. The reason I urge everyone to stan VIXX right now is the fact that they were really way ahead of their time. Their tracks from back in 2015 to 2016 can easily be equated to some of the music today, and the fact that they came up with it almost 7 to 8 years in advance really speaks volumes. The rest of it is pretty self-explanatory, so my only message, go stan VIXX. Thank you. And that's it for the video. I hope I might have convinced you to stan my favorite groups if you don't already. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Aloka signing out for the day.